set.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
Go watch the film.
So just come and watch the film. Okay.
Go watch. Yeah.
So what advice would you give low-budget filmmakers regarding the following? Script, story. Script and story.
Those are seriously the most important things about making a film, sadly. Well, not sadly. It's actually the cheapest and easiest part to get right. But is the part where most films actually fall down. It is the foundations of your film. I would say spend a lot of time making sure that you're telling the exact story that you want to tell. And once you've done that, get a script editor to make sure that the structure and everything is fine, because that will save you a hell of a lot of work and sort of wasting time when you're shooting stuff that you don't need and that sort of thing. Script editors save a lot of films, and I would seriously recommend getting one.
Okay. And actors and crew, what kind of advice would you give a low-budget filmmaker?
Oh, God. Well, with crew, I don't know, I just sort of always just talk to I guess it's just sort of communicating a lot, asking, like, because I was very young when I made this is my first feature, so I would often just go, oh, you know, I sort of had my vision, but then I always sort of thought, well, what if, you know, the production designer had a better idea of how this would actually look than I did. It is often not being scared to actually collaborate with all those key creatives, and the same with actors. With actors, every actor is different, and it's a matter of, well, for me at least, the way I went about doing it is I just said, well, how do you go about doing your thing? What's your thing? Because every actor has their thing. Yeah. It's very annoying, actors, you know. But you just ask them, you know, how they feel comfortable working, and then you just work to that. And so long as, I mean, it's the director's responsibility to have their vision of what their story is, and so long as you actually know what that vision is. A lot of directors go in there going, oh, I think it should, you know, blah blah blah. There's a lot of uncertainty there, but I think it is good to have a very clear, especially in low budget cinema. In the way I work, at least, is to know exactly what you want, and then being able to sort of collaborate and negotiate with your creatives that you're working with.
Okay, and what about the budget?
Budget.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give?
I spoke at the Gold Coast Film Festival last November with Michael Selwyn, who runs Paramount Pictures Australia. It was a really terrifying conversation, as always, with those executives. And really what it is it's about making a film that looks like it was made for $1 billion trillion, but with no money. That's if you're looking at making a film that is going to make a lot of money. Other than that, it's basically just about doing it with, you know, the bare minimum, because really the cool thing about independent cinema is the fact that you do have limited resources all round, and it is all very much a personal effort, and that is what makes independent movies have, you know, quite often have that extra bit of magic to them that makes them cool.
And what about location?
Location? God, I just get a location manager. It's horrible. I think if, like, there was a lot of locations with Bad Behaviour that I was in love with, but of course it's just impossible to use them. No. So I guess it's all just weighing up resources. Again, that's just a negotiating process with, you know, with your producers and your location managers and everyone else involved.
And what about equipment, like the camera?
The camera, I'm personally, like, compared to Jared, like, I know that he likes to actually hold, you know, have control of his camera and that sort of thing, and have that relationship between him and the camera and his actor. I'm terrified of actually touching a camera. I like to form a very strong partnership with whoever is my cinematographer, and basically just say, because I storyboard every shot in my film, although, as I said earlier, I think in another interview, like, I'm a big fan of the Coen brothers, and they famously storyboard every single shot in their films. And then when you actually get to set, you kind of realise that it's absolutely impossible to actually shoot what you're planning to shoot. So it is a matter of throwing it out the window. But it's starting with those storyboards. That's the essence of what the scene that you want to capture. So it's about communicating that with, you know, whoever your DP is and whoever your production designer is, and the ADs and all that sort of thing. or again, all of that sort of thing is very much a part of a collaborative effort. It can't really just be down to, is it the DP who drives this side of things? I like to sort of have all of them around. It's much cooler to feel like you're a part of a group of people trying to achieve this creative goal, I guess.
Okay. And what about the sound?
Oh my god. Sound.
Yeah.
If the sound person isn't really, really pissing off the camera person, they're not doing their job, and never, ever, ever, ever forget that. And that's what I have to say about sound.
Okay. And lighting.
Lighting. Oh, I don't know anything about lighting.
Okay.
I just make it look like this, and I show a picture to the DP. That's I just do a lot of referencing with that sort of thing.
Okay.
I really don't have, well, at this stage, that much interest in actually being like more of a cinematographer. I do think very visually, but I think mostly more in tone and how I'm going to direct something. So visually and all that sort of thing, all the technical aspects, I do kind of push it to the gaffers and the DPs and those sorts of people and say, this is what I want, go and do it.
I wish I had that kind of power.
Yeah.
And what about like the schedule for a film?
You'll never, ever, ever have time to do exactly what you want. Even with, if you're making a friggin' blockbuster film, you'll never have enough money to actually, enough time to do it exactly the way you want, unless you're extremely lucky. I guess there maybe might be the odd circumstance. So it is about dealing with not having enough time and being able to make the magic happen under that sort of pressure. So scheduling, I think, is, for example, in Bad Behaviour, we had quite a sort of close to the second act with a fight scene. It's the sort of biggest, most violent moment in the film, and a lot of it was just a lot of special effects, a lot of sort of choreography and that sort of thing. And got to the day, and we were going to shoot it over 3 days, and it got cut to about, I think we had just over half a day to shoot a fight scene. So we really did have to just think on our feet, and it ended up looking amazing.
Okay.
It's really weird how that sort of thing turns out.
All right. And the legal issue. The
legal issues, that's just about getting a producer who you trust, and a sales agent who you trust, and a lawyer who you trust, and all those people. I mean, I come from, like, I am still a bookkeeper, earning my money from there. Being a bookkeeper, in case some people don't know, some people think it means that I make books. That isn't true. I actually just do accounts for people, which is incredibly dull and boring. So I came from a sort of a business background before I came into film now. And from there I did know a lot about financing and that sort of thing, and how to sort of see if something is being sort of neglected on that side. So I guess it is about for a filmmaker being responsible with the money that they have been given to make their film, even if it's their own, even if it's an investors or whatever. It's about being incredibly responsible with what you do with that money.
Okay. Okay, so editing, post-production, and music.
Editing, post-production, music. Editing, Bad Behaviour had a very strange editing period. We cut the film together. The film was a slow burner from when I wrote it? My goodness. And when we shot it as a slow burner, we cut it together as a slow burner. It came to just under 2 hours, I think, a decent cut of it, really good cut of it. And we were sort of realised that just wasn't going to be accepted in the market, particularly in Australia, where it's our main market at the moment, well, for us at least. And we, at that point in time, sort of mid last year, there was movies like Scott Pilgrim and all that sort of stuff, and what was it? I can't remember. Kick-Ass, that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And these really fast-paced, awesome. They were comic book movies,